What is happening? Oh, I have liquid lipstick all over my leg. Alright, so today it is day 2 of 15 days of foundation. This is where I test out a new foundation every single day for 15 days. I'm going to leave day 1 linked down below. Also the kind of announcement video where I talk more about the series if you're new here. But today we're talking about a new foundation. This is a stick foundation by Sephora. Their Make No Mistake foundation and concealer stick. A lot of you guys wanted to see this one tested out. There's a special place in my heart for a good stick foundation. I love stick foundations. The Makeup Forever stick foundation is one of my favorites. So I'm on Sephora to read some of the claims. This product retails for $20 and you get 0.41 ounces of product. To give you some comparison, other stick foundations, Makeup Forever has 0.44 and the Jolie Cream Stick Foundation, which I have a review on, has 0.35. It's sad that I have those memorized. Is that right? Yep. So this seems to be kind of right in the middle as far as the amount of product you actually get in here. This comes in 16 shades. I have the lightest shade 01 Driftwood. Are they all named after wood? They're all named after wood. Wow, that's different. I'm learning so many new woods. Koa? Never heard that one. I'm going to insert swatches right here of this foundation compared to some of the other foundations I own, the lightest shades. So swatch time, right here is the Sephora Make No Mistake stick foundation in the lightest shade Driftwood. Next over is the Makeup Forever stick foundation in 115. Jolie stick foundation in soft cream. Dermacol 208 is my closest shade match, and Urban Decay Naked Skin foundation in 0.5. Very brief description on this thing. It says it's a medium to full coverage foundation and concealer stick with a natural matte finish. 2-in-1 multitasker can be used both as a foundation and a concealer. The creamy formula does not settle into fine lines and wrinkles. That's all it says. It says it's good for all skin types. So if you're excited for day 2 of 15 days of foundation, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up while you're watching if you're enjoying. If you want to see what I think of the Sephora Make No Mistake foundation and concealer and how to apply some ways throughout the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. Okay, day 2. So I already washed, moisturized, and primed with my usual, which will be linked down below. Since this is a stick foundation, I typically like to use either, the stick foundations, kind of my go-to brushes are the Sigma F82 Round Kabuki. This one is very dense, good for stick foundations. I washed all my brushes last night. Pat on the back. Or I like using this e.l.f. brush. This one doesn't have a name on it, but it'll be linked down below. Just for the sake of trying it out, I might try it out with a sponge on the other side, but usually I have the best luck with stick foundations with those brushes. Extensions are definitely out to party over here. It's all good. Hopefully this isn't too light. I forgot that the Sephora Airbrush foundation, their lightest shade is very, very light. I'm just gonna apply, oh, this is gonna be too light. I'm going to apply how I would a usual stick foundation. I do about 4 stripes like that. Let's start out with the Sigma F82 brush. Go on and blend. Okay, so you can see when I'm blending, you can still see the stripes. It's not totally easily blending, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on this right now to blend it out. Doesn't like glide over like the Makeup Forever stick foundation. Okay, I applied a very decent amount of product. It says it's supposed to be medium to full coverage. Off of that, I would call this low medium coverage. You can see everything. Something is in this eyeball. See if it covers the acne on my neck. It definitely has like a drag to it. It's not easy to blend out at all. That didn't really cover. This is supposed to be a foundation and a concealer in one. So after I do the other side, I will go back in and try and cover up some of the acne as like a spot concealer. This is just like not blending. I'm like using all of my force to blend this out right now. Whoa. It's making my forehead look very dry. The center of my forehead, oh, I think you guys can even see that on the viewfinder. It looks like the frickin' Sahara Desert right there. Also looks pretty dry right here in this area. Okay, let's try the other side. So I'll try the sponge on this one. If it didn't blend out with that brush, I cannot see this blending out with a sponge, but let's try. You can't even like pounce this because you really have to like tug at your skin basically to blend this out. There is no glide to this product whatsoever. I actually think I blended it out about the same. Both sides look like, I don't even think I would call this medium coverage, honestly. It looks like light coverage. Just looks like it toned down the redness basically. I'm gonna try the e.l.f. brush on the other side of my forehead. just like disappears. What is happening? Sponge. I actually think it blends out the best with the sponge, probably because it adds a little bit of moisture back into your skin, because this thing is so dry, but I mean it still looks like shit with a sponge. I'm gonna go back in on top of my acne, since this is supposed to be like a concealer too, and just kind of dab it on areas where I need more coverage. I need more coverage everywhere right now, but I'll try and just dab. I'm gonna go back in with this brush. Actually, let's just do the sponge since that's working better. It just looks very, very dry. For me, kind of the whole point of a stick foundation is that it's quick, it's easy, typically they have good coverage, and I can just kind of put it on when I'm rushing. This, there's no way you could use for that purpose since it takes so long to work with. By the way, I forgot to say the time when I started. It's 10:09 right now, so it probably started around 10 o'clock. I didn't get like any coverage on my forehead, so I'm just adding some on the center. Whew, that looks not great, folks. I'm glad I don't have anywhere major to go today. My skin right now just looks like I need to dunk in Vaseline or something. It looks like I haven't moisturized in 10 years. I think I could have gone with one shade up, but when I put on bronzer and everything, hopefully it'll be wearable. It's 10:12, let's call check-in time 10:15. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and hope that some kind of magic can go down to make my face not look like utter shit right now. Okay, so it's now 11:11. Ooh, 11:11. So some time has passed. It's been about an hour. I took a good look at the foundation and natural lighting out there, and I think it actually looks better now that it's kind of warmed up to my skin a little bit. It definitely still looks dry and patchy in certain areas. I would say my forehead, like up here, is where it really doesn't look good. And then down here in this area, like where most of my acne is, definitely wouldn't call this medium or full coverage off of one layer. I think you can get it up to medium coverage. When I first put it on, it did look like a matte finish. Would not call this a natural matte finish. This is like straight up dry matte. But as it's been on my skin a little bit, I mean, my forehead looks pretty dewy at this point. I have highlighter on my nose, so that's what you guys are seeing there. But my forehead, I obviously don't have any highlighter on the center of my forehead, and it looks pretty dewy. Hoping that doesn't turn into oil throughout the day. So I warmed up my face quite a bit so I don't look totally washed out using the Ambient Bronzers by Hourglass. Luminous Bronze Light and Diffuse Bronze Light. I kind of just mix those two shades. Get a little bit more of a glow going on my face. I use the Too Faced Papa Don't Peach Blush. Highlighter, I tried out this palette. Holy shitsies. This is the BH Spotlight palette, which I've been hearing a lot of good things about. I don't know why I hadn't tried it yet, but I actually went in with Dream, and it is beautiful. I used Dream as a face highlight, and then I also have it on the center of my eyes on the lid, and then I used Glow for my inner corner, which is also super pretty as like an inner corner highlight. So I'm gonna keep trying this thing out because I really like it right now. Eyeshadows, I actually was gonna go in with the Subculture palette just to try it again. I have a whole review on it, but I didn't want my eyes to be like super red and itchy if that was what irritated me. Instead, I went in with its sister palette. Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. All of the matte shades on my eyes are from here. And then my lips are Be Hue Pretty Penny. Second time is 10:15. I'll see you guys in a few hours in natural lighting. Okay, so it's now 2:13, so foundation's been on for about 4 hours. As you can see, I'm looking pretty dewy right now. I don't mind it at this point. It's not like overly too oily, but I'm definitely getting a bit oily. I'm getting a little bit of creasing right here. Yeah, I look pretty oily already around my nose area. This is only after 4 hours. Getting a bit of oil down here as well. But I'm vlogging today. I'm gonna go find an air-conditioned spot to work because it's way too hot in here. I'll see you guys at the end of the night. Where is the light? Okay, I think that looks pretty accurate actually. So right now it's 8:55, so foundation's been on for a little over 10 hours, 10 and a half hours. As you can see, I am very oily. This I think is tricky on my skin because it's definitely not a foundation that off the bat I feel like I could put a powder on top of. Like you guys saw, it was so dry, so matte when I first put it on, so I feel like I would almost have to wait like a couple hours to powder my face, which I just don't want to do. I'm not trying to mess around with putting makeup on my face twice throughout the day. I like to put on my makeup, have it stay on throughout the day. I definitely have foundations where that works without a powder. I mean, the oil is like out to party right now. Not only that, but I feel like it's rubbed off in certain parts of my face, like my nose. This one is just an overall no to me. This one is one of those products that I feel like no matter what your skin type is, the fact that it was so difficult to blend out and it just has this drag to it, which you don't want in a stick foundation, I would say is a pass. The one thing I do like about it is that it definitely didn't oxidize throughout the day, so that's nice. So this is one of those products that I wouldn't reach for again. I won't be using this again. Hopefully day number 3 will be golden. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you're excited for the rest of 15 days of foundation, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. It helps me out. 6 p.m. Pacific time every single night for 15 days. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.